What's going on, Jam fam? Today, we're going to be making a tier list. We're going to be ranking all of the game modes, in my opinion, and a little bit based on trophies, but for the most part, it's going to be based mostly on my opinion. So, yeah, we're going to jump into it. Make sure you guys leave a comment on what you guys like about the game modes. If you disagree or agree with any of my opinions, let me know about that as well. And also, if you don't like my rankings, make sure you leave a dislike on the video, because dislikes don't matter anymore. All right, let's get into it. All right, you guys said you want to start with Brawl Ball, so let's jump into it, all right? So, Brawl Ball. I got Brawl Ball on an easy A tier, all right? Boo! Now, I'm putting Brawl Ball in the A tier because while it is a really fun mode, I also feel like the worst randoms play Brawl Ball, and that comes with the territory of it being like the most played mode, so the most people are going to play it, so obviously the worst randoms are going to go to it. But it makes an A tier to me because mainly it's a lot of fun to play, especially in a team, but the thing that holds it back from being S tier is, like I said, randoms, and honestly, all the mortises just really, really bother me, especially when you play with randoms. Mortises are either really trash or they're really good, and there's no in between, and most of the time they're trash. All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get the people I don't like out of here. C tier. Now, here, let's put a disclosure here. D tier don't matter. D tier is game modes that do not matter, okay? Now, C tier to me is actually going to be more like D tier. Going to be more like D tier, okay? I don't really have like a C tier. D tier to me is the worst modes in the game, and in my opinion, Showdown is one of the worst modes in the game. Now, what am I going to say about Showdown here? I honestly think Showdown makes the game worse overall, because what it does, teaming promotes players, it discourages players from actually sweating and getting better at the game. And honestly, all Showdown does, in my opinion, is inflate trophies way, way too much. Showdown Plus is a little bit better. I will admit, Showdown Plus is a little bit better than Showdown because it does incentivize killing a little bit more. But overall, both modes are bad for the game, in my opinion. And duos, I would honestly put duos here as well. They don't have a logo for duos, but I would put duos here as well. Duo Showdown is getting worse with teaming. Like, I just had somebody in my stream a few days, like last week or something like that wanted to team in duos, and I thought it's just like a terrible way of playing. Trophy Thieves and Present Plunder. A tier modes for me. Okay? Trophy idiots. All right. To me, Trophy Thief and Present Plunder, obviously they're the same mode. In my opinion, they are actually the most fun seasonal modes that we get. They're a lot of fun. They can be very intense, especially when you have the right matchups and the right map. And like, you know, it's very back and forth. It's very spammy. I just really enjoy them overall. I honestly, if they put Trophy Thieves as a non-seasonal mode and they added it to the game permanently, I would honestly love that. I could totally see them rotating it with Brawl Ball because they do have a lot of like similar qualities as far as like meta and maps go. So I would be totally okay with them making it a permanent mode. And overall, yeah, A mode for me. Real quick, we're just gonna get these out of the way. Modes that don't matter, weekend event modes. Honestly, you're only playing the weekend event modes for the tokens and maybe to steal a couple quests here and there. Another one that we're gonna throw in don't matter, Siege. Siege is gonna get removed from the game entirely eventually. It pretty much already is. First hot take of the video, okay, boys? S tier mode. Gem Grab is S tier for me. Let me break it down why. All right? Let me bust out my notes right here, all right? S tier mode. To me, Gem Grab is the most consistent mode when it comes to trophy pushing. Overall, I find myself, when I want to push trophies and I'm tilted, I default to Gem Grab personally. Another thing, it's a very fun mode to play. Just because you've been playing it since your very first game of Brawl Stars doesn't mean that it's boring. I find it very fun to play. Also, it has the most diverse meta in the entire game. How many brawlers are actually not viable in Gem Grab? Not very many. So tanks struggle a little bit sometimes, but throwers, snipers, assassins, all of those are really good in Gem Grab. That means that if you want to push trophies in Gem Grab and you don't know what mode to play to, Gem Grab is always a good default in my opinion. Overall, I think Gem Grab is an S tier mode. All right, to me, duels is another A tier mode. Now, I'll be honest, I don't play a ton of duels. I'm not great in 1v1 scenarios, but to me, duels, A, you can pick your own brawlers. B, it's the best, it's the only 1v1 mode we have, and it's a best of 3, so if you do get one bad matchup, if you pick your brawlers right, you can definitely make a comeback pretty easily. And C, overall, I think that if you're good enough at the game, you can make pretty much any brawler work in duels. There's a couple outliers that are never going to work, like Penny or something like that. But overall, I think duels is the most skill-based mode, and it's like, because it's 1v1, it can be a lot of fun to play, especially if they were to ever add it into a friendly lobby. I think that it would be super fun to play. All right, so for Knockout and Bounty, I have them both in the C tier, okay? Well, we don't have a C tier anymore. We got rid of C tier, right? Well, I guess I'm gonna put them D tier then. You know what? Actually, we're gonna make another. All right, so don't matter. Bum 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 bum. And D tier. Now I have not. All right, so I have Knockout and Bounty in C tier. So my reasons why is because I find them very similar to each other. Obviously, they're both kill-based modes. They're technically both the most skill-based modes of the 3v3 modes. But the thing I really don't like about them is that they are very, like, when you play with randoms, they're very bad at it. They're both super easy modes to throw games in. So it makes trophy pushing in them extremely inconsistent, especially when you play with randoms, like I said. And the other thing is that they have extremely stagnant metas, so you can only push selected brawlers there when you actually want to play them. So, you know, you're going to play your snipers there. Maybe you might play a cheeky assassin and knockout or something like that, but for the most part, it's going to be snipers and throwers. And it's just not a lot of fun, in my opinion. I find them very boring, very stalematey, and overall, I do not like to play them unless I have to for, like, a quest or something. Hold the trophy! Hold the trophy, D tier. Worst mode they've ever made, hands down. Hold the trophy is boring. I've only played a handful of games of it, so I don't even have enough games under my belt to actually talk about the mode. And B, if I remember right, it was just like extremely, extremely painful to play. I won't say it doesn't matter because they might bring it back, but overall, I just think it's like really, really bad. All right, basketball and volleyball are both B tier modes for me. They are actually a lot of fun to play. But the fact that they're seasonal means that we never really get them for long enough to actually, like, sink our teeth into. I actually really prefer basketball over volleyball. Volleyball can be a little bit boring, just standing in the circle waiting for the ball to come back and forth. Volleyball, to me, the best part of it is when it starts to speed up and you actually have to, like, try to figure out, like, how to throw the ball into different corners and stuff to throw your opposing team off. But overall, I think they're decent modes, but I think if they were permanent, I think we might get bored of them. Maybe not basketball, but definitely volleyball. I think people will get bored of them. There's no bot drop logo here. Oh, bot drop's the new mode, right? All right, so for bot drop, is this takedown? This is takedown, right? We don't have a bot drop logo. We're gonna say this takedown logo is bot drop, all right? If bot drop were to be added permanently, I would honestly put it in the B or the A tier, if we're, like, honest. So we're gonna say this is bot drop, and I'll err on the side of you normies, but I think bot drop is no. You know what? Screw you guys. It's my tier list. I think bot drop is actually an A tier mode, just like gem grab. It's a lot of fun to play. I like the dynamic of it when bots push you back and you're trying to collect bolts and stuff like that, and also having to deal with the enemy team at the same time. There's definitely not another mode that you actually get that experience with, because there's no other mode that's quite as fluid, in my opinion, as bot drop. This is gonna be so hated. Yeah, that's why it's my tier list, boys. Let's do what used to be my favorite mode, heist. I'm putting heist in B tier. All right, boys. So heist used to be my favorite mode. I used to love it, especially when I was a noob and I was like 200 trophies and I was able to steamroll people in heist. But I find heist, honestly, you know what? I could actually go C tier with it too. Actually, my notes have it in C tier. My notes do have it in C tier. You know what? I'll agree with you. Just glancing down at my notes, I do have it in C tier. So, my issue with heist right now is the maps right now are actually really bad for it. That sounds right. Yeah, GG Mortuary. This map right here. This map is absolute dog. I hate this map. I cannot stand this map. And it's like the prime example of what a bad map is, where there's only one choke point. You have to play wall break brawlers if you want to succeed in it, and it's got a super stale meta. And I feel like that's the way that the heist meta has actually gone, to the point where it's like super stale and it's just not fun to play. Also, I find it very inconsistent. Even if you play with a team, it's just hard to win in heist consistently. So that's why I got to put it in C tier. S tier. Wipeout is the best mode Brawl Stars has ever made, bar none. I love Wipeout. honestly, every time it comes up, I do play a good handful of games. You know, it's just got like a really good Unga Bunga format. Like if they keep the maps where it's really walled off and you can just play brawlers and get killed, like you can play any brawler and just get kills. It's a lot of fun. There's not a lot of thought that goes into actually playing the mode, but it's just a lot of fun. It's the most basic concept of Brawl Stars, where it's just play your brawler, get your kills, get in, get out, super fast paced. I just enjoy it a lot. Lone Star is D tier for me. And also Takedown, but we have Takedown representing Bot Drop. I have them both in D tier. There's a reason why they're not in the game. They're just not fun to play. Lone Star is very bush campy. You know, you get somebody low and then all of a sudden a Mortis would just pop out of the bush and steal your kill. Or you get low and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, hell, Primo would come flying from off map and kill you. Like, it's just not a lot of fun. And then Takedown, same thing, is that, you know, it's just spam the bot at the beginning of the mode, and then when the shield goes up, you just try to collect power cubes. Like, they're just not fun modes to play, in my opinion. All right, we're down to our last two modes. Payload, D tier. Honestly, one of the worst modes they've ever made. I thought Payload was going to be a lot of fun. I was super excited for it when it first came out, but as I played it, it turned out to be really stagnant metas. The payload not being able to attack through it really made it so people just camped on the payload, and if you got close, they would just knock you back with, like, BB, or they just hide behind it with Jackie and attack through the wall. Not a lot of fun. And then another thing is it just felt really slow. Like, the payload just took forever to go through the actual track, and all that combined just made it for a not fun experience, in my opinion. I got Hot Zone in C tier. It's a good mode. It's not a great mode. Honestly, like, I do like the idea of Hot Zone. There are some maps that are fun to play, like Ring of Fire is kind of a fun mode to play, but there's a couple fun maps, but there's also really bad maps. Another thing I do like about Hot Zone, let's talk about, like, things I do like about it real quick. I do like that the meta is pretty diverse for Hot Zone. You can play a lot of brawlers in Hot Zone, so it is a pretty good mode to play when you're just trying to push trophies, or if you're just trying to do quests or whatever. I think it's a pretty decent mode to play, but also I find it very inconsistent when you play with randoms, so that's like the first knock against it. It's like a super inconsistent mode. Overall, it's just like, it's good, it's not great, C tier. All right, well, that's gonna do it. Yep, obviously, like, hot takes, right? Hot take here, probably a hot take here, hot take here. I know a lot of normies are gonna hate this pick right here, but like I said, this is my opinion. You know, I really enjoy these modes. These are modes that are okay for me, and then, like, these modes, I just try to avoid playing as much as I can, unless I got a quest or something, or it comes up in, like, Power League or whatever. Let me know what you thought about the list. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.